Okay, yeah, so the UK 76ers YouTube's back.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6s.
Wow.
10, 9, 8, 76s.
Wow. I think there comes a time in every sports fan sort of fandom, period of fandom, where something happened which is so utterly outrageous, so unfathomable, so crazy, so unthinkable that you're lost for words. And as many of you know, for me, it's Philadelphia 76ers and Southampton Football Club. And so more often than not, these whirlwind of emotions are never positive ones. And I am coming to you. I had this idea that I would have my grand return. I have 30 subscribers and about 5 people watch per video. Grand return's a bit of a grandiose statement for a few people that are a bit bored at night watching a YouTube video to see if someone gets angry enough to satisfy their needs late at night. That being said, I was hoping to make my grand return to this in a positive light. Maybe with we're getting to the conference finals. Maybe with a nice end of season review where the Philadelphia 76ers valiantly make their way to the conference finals, or indeed the finals, but just about lose out to a team which is just a bit better, a bit more experienced. Then we move on and hopefully take that momentum into the next season. But I've had to cut that idea short, that dream short, to bring you this Atlanta Hawks mess. Now, as alluded to before, for me it's Southampton Football Club and it's Philadelphia 76ers. Over the last 18 months I've been through, 3 years actually, let's extend it 3 years. The Kawhi shot, a 9-0, a 9-0, and now this. It is just a 1-2 punch after 1-2 punch for myself, and I would have thought I've been somewhat conditioned to these feelings of just absolute despair and embarrassment and disbelief. But hell no, the Sixers just pull it out the bag. Now, for those of you who follow me on Twitter, they will know I couldn't watch all of last night's game because I was absolutely knackered. That being said, I stood up at 3. I woke up at 3. I didn't set an alarm. I just woke up at 3, realised we're still playing. I was like, I'll watch this last, 5-10 minutes. And if some of you have the NBA app, they know that you can hide the scores, and I did that because I was planning on watching the next morning without knowing the score. I nervously pressed the show scores. Sixers are 102 points up. I fist bumped the air. We'll see it 3 minutes left. It's like, yes, we're going to take a 3-2 series lead. And then I watched the game. I pressed play. And, oh my God, it became apparent very quickly that this game was far from over, that we were going to bottle it. You just knew. Anyone who knows the Sixers, anyone who knows how the series has been so far, it's just shooting yourself in the foot times 10. It's not just taking a pistol to it, it's taking an AK-47, it's taking an RPG, it's full on just pulling the pin from a grenade and just dropping it in your lap and just waiting for the fireworks to go off. It is such self-induced pain with this team, and it all just came to a nice, neatly wrapped bundle at the end of last night. What in the Jesus Christ? Oh my God, it's unfathomable. And it's like with these videos, and indeed with my podcast and with everyone else, I try to come across and give actual basketball takes, to be eloquent and to try and decipher what's just happened on the basketball court, to try and talk through legibly and clearly what on earth just happened, because too often we just have people that are effing and blinding, and you don't get much apart from just hearing the F word and just an irrational number of times. And I will bite my tongue for these videos because I don't want to be doing that. But oh my God, it's just I'm beyond belief. And whilst I might be hiding this pain with that awful lot of laughter, and indeed there's been a fair bit of booze flowing as well to try and hold back the absolute rage that's building inside of me. So it is with so many other Sixer fans. Whilst all this, there is indeed a lot of basketball issues that need to be diagnosed, issues that have festered and lingered on this team for years, and I've always tried to be a bit of a happy-go-lucky guy with this stuff. Of course, I occasionally, you flick the switch, you go nuts, but then you come back, you go back to reality, and like, well, hang on, let's just think this one through again. But I don't think this is happening for me. The penny has dropped. I was one of the people that disagreed with trade for James Harden to keep Ben Simmons. I was one of the people that said give him time, it's going to be okay. I was one that was praising Tobias Harris, and don't get me wrong, he was very good this season, but I couldn't give a rat's ass if you do it okay against the Minnesota Timberwolves in Minnesota on a Wednesday night in February. That means nothing to no one. Who cares? All I care about is when it matters most, when the chips are down, when it's near enough win or go home, where you've got to fight to maintain your home court advantage, when you've got a place to book yourself in the conference finals, when you've got an opportunity to make it to the NBA finals and then win it, of course. I want to know what you can do on the court. What Tobias Harris can do on the court is 4 points against Atlanta Hawks, who, look, Atlanta Hawks are a good team. They are a good team, but they're not defensive powerhouses. And that isn't just Tobias Harris' fault that wasn't taken advantage of. It's schematically who behind this organization, i.e. coach-wise, is just completely letting them off the hook. And we will talk about Doc Rivers, but this is unscripted. Normally I have a bit of a formula and a bit of a step-by-step guide to get myself through these videos, but this is just going to be off the cuff, say it as I see it. Normally I talk about my people that work, USA Sports, Merchant Visible, and whilst they look both. Check the guys out. This video is just going to be me talking, thinking out loud, just venting, because I need it. Because whilst it's been an absolute blessing that no one I go to work with knows basketball, it would also be equally as nice to have someone that knows it so I can vent. But oh my goodness, let's go straight off the bat. Let's go with Ben Simmons. Let's start with Ben Simmons. Let's start with the guy who I've been defending and defending and defending and defending. Not just myself has been doing that. A lot of people, fans, members of the organisation, members who've lost their jobs in the organisation have been defending him, teammates, whatever. And this is where all your chickens come home to roost. And this is where I'm ready to get rid. I am ready to get rid. If that's for Bradley Beal, of course, if it's for Damian Lillard, yeah, I'll drive him from Philadelphia to Portland myself. I'll do what I need to do. But this is the end of the road. The only way this is redeemable is if he comes out all guns blazing for the rest of the playoffs, so long as we have a playoffs to play in. But oh my god, everyone's talking about this jump shot, this jump shot, that. He goes hiding, and I would often counter argue. I'd be like, well, hang on a bit. He can still be effective without a jump shot. He can still do this. We've seen him do this. We've seen him get aggressive. We've seen him get his career high 42 points on Rudy Gobert, who's Defensive Player of the Year this year. I don't think he deserved it, but he got it nonetheless, and he is a good defender in his own right. Bearing in mind Ben Simmons is finishing predominantly out the rim as well. That's impressive. But now he can't be asked. Not when it matters most. Not when it's very obvious that this team needs someone else to help Joel Embiid, the man on one leg, the man who's one weird sort of fall away from being completely out for this season, and maybe even out for a good chunk of the next season, but he's willing to put all his body on the line, give it absolutely everything he's got. You've got Joel Embiid setting that pace, setting that trend, and you've got Ben Simmons and Tobias Harris, who are just like, Seth Curry, he'll hit a few threes, and 10 points, 3 minutes left. It should be alright. We'll be good. No. Absolutely bloody not. He's a 6'11", 240-pounder man with a heaps amount of athleticism and pace, and he's ambidextrous, and he can't be asked to do anything. I mean, come on. And we blew this lead, not just through him, because we know how good he is on the defensive end, but like I said, it's unscripted. I don't know where I'm going, what direction I'm going in with this video. There'll be Doc Rivers talking about. That's probably the main thing I will be talking about with this points deficit that we let them over. How does this happen, man? How does this happen? But Ben Simmons, what I find most alarming, what I find most unthinkable, is people have been defending him and putting their own reputation, putting themselves on the line, letting themselves get clowned on, letting themselves look stupid for years. But all we needed was a bit of progress, a bit of aggressiveness, and we've been saying that for years. And he recently just came out, literally after that game, he's like, I need to be more aggressive. It's like, I could have told you that when you were playing the Cavs on the Tuesday in January. I could have told you when I was last in Philadelphia in March 2018 that you need to be more aggressive. Everyone's been telling you that. And of course, sometimes it's the media members who are absolute morons, and half the time you're better off not listening to them. But Jesus Christ, when's the penny going to drop? Is it going to have to take something like this, where we had a really nice looking run going into that conference finals that we're probably not going to get to now, I don't think, that we're going to have to give up a solid season of basketball where we got the 1 seed, where we got a nice playoff run. We're going to have to give up 1 season of that, where we could have being the key word here, maybe really done some damage this year. We're going to have to give up that, sacrifice that, wait for Brooklyn to come back stronger, only so we can learn from the mistakes of this year. Brilliant. Nice one. I'm glad it's taken this for the penny to drop, Ben. This is fantastic. This is what we've wanted, of course. We want the penny to drop. We want change, and there's no guarantee there will be change. But oh my word, if we weren't so mollycoddled by the likes of Doc, who was like, no, he doesn't need to do this, that, and the other, or similarly with Brett, maybe, oh yeah, he doesn't need to do this, that, and the other, or he doesn't need to get aggressive. If someone just said, here's what you need to do to help us win, or you can leave, someone just came down a bit harder on the guy. And it's embarrassing for fans, because we've done our absolute best to try and defend Ben Simmons. I have. At my own expense, I've looked like a massive idiot, and I look like a huge idiot now. So thank you, Ben Simmons. You know, you've got your money, you've got your max contract, but everyone who supported you, that's been defending you for so long, for years, you've made them all look like absolute mugs last night. And I don't see how you can possibly be in a Sixers jersey this time next year. You're going to have to really up your game these next few, if there even is a few, this next game at the very least. You're going to have to do something pretty marvellous, pretty magnificent, and change your game over this off-season. Otherwise, you can get in the bin, you can go. We'll bring in someone who wants to try, wants to improve, wants to help Joel, wants to help this team win. So that's Ben Simmons. That's the way I'm seeing it right now. His jersey's still up there, and I'm not sure how much longer it's going to be up there, to be quite frank. We've got the Tobias one over on that side as well. And, you know, look, he played abysmally. We will talk about Tobias probably next. But he's been putting up 20-plus points almost every game. And, yeah, you're allowed one bad game, but well, not this one, though. And this is the issue I've got with Tobias. Where's the aggression? Where's that mentality? Just like, I'm going to be the guy. I'm going to take the bull by the horns and be like, I'll sort this. Joel's done his bit. He's got his 37 points. Seth Curry has done his bit. He's got way more points, double the points we'd want from him. But he's done it nonetheless. And the cogs must be turning into Tobias's head. It's like, okay, Embiid's got near enough 40. Seth Curry's got near enough 35. All I need to do is get a solid 18, 19 points. And this game is won. Let's get 4 points. Oh my God. And one play, because I told you I watched those last 5-10 minutes. One play which just really stood out to me is that we needed a bucket. We're pissing about with the ball, we're passing it because no one wants to take the responsibility of actually shooting it, and we'll end up just taking a dross shot. Tobias is cutting to the rim from the corner. Mistake number one, it was Gallinari in the post. Take him. The layup was there, or at least you're getting fouled if you go in aggressively. He kicks it to Embiid. Gallinari loses Harris. He is now, unopposed in the post. Embiid ships it back to him. The game is at its hottest. Everyone's blood is pumping. Everyone's willing to put in 110% on both teams. Well, at least on the Hawks side of things. I'm not sure if we'll get 110% to try and see this game through. Tobias goes up with the most pathetic layup, one which I think he could have dunked. I think he could have gone with aggression, gone with strength to make sure that this ball is going in that bucket. John Collins comes along, who is renowned for his athleticism, who is renowned for being able to jump, to block, to do all these things, and swats it, and then Tobias is just sat there, it's like, get angry, get aggressive, will your team to win. The talent's all there. It 100% is. We've seen it. His talent is there. And he's been consistent with it. His splits will show you that. But when it mattered most, and that's the thing, he's not a killer. It really is. What I would change about Tobias the most, not necessarily his style of play, not necessarily his attributes, i.e. his three-point shooting. Well, of course you'd want that to improve. Not necessarily things like that. It's his mentality. It's that he looks and seems like a bit of a sop. That you look at John Collins, who's got that snarl, that bit of aggression. I'm not saying Tobias is better than John Collins. Don't get me wrong, but John Collins has that swagger, that ability to just turn it on and help his team win. Be dogged. Be a pit bull on the court. Get those rebounds. Be aggressive. Get the dunks. Get the crowd going. Tobias is just none of that, and that's what we needed. We didn't need an outright talented player. We needed a guy that gave a shit. Sorry, pardon my French, but I told you I didn't want to swear, and that's what we needed. We needed someone who gave a damn, who wanted the crowd to get on board, who wanted to give them something to shout about, who wanted to say, no, we're winning this, let's nip this in the bud, who wanted to get at Trae Young and Lou Williams, which that is a backcourt to be gotten at, to be absolutely gotten at, to be destroyed. And that's partly because Ben Simmons can't be bothered to actually get at this guy who is, look, Trae Young, I'm not going to get bitter, Trae Young is a really good player. I don't like him, but he's a good player. But he's a weedy 6'2", skinny guy going up against someone like Ben Simmons, potentially, if you do make your matchups right, or anyone on that team. And we were just like, nah. Now we'll find a different way. We'll see if we can maybe just get Joel to do something after he's done everything for us in this game. Why don't we just give him a bit of a break? Nah, we'll just give him the ball and we'll just see what happens. It's pathetic. Doc Rivers. This has become quite the occurrence, isn't it? This has become quite the occurrence. You bottling leads. And it's all starting from your rotations, the fact that it's an all bench, those NBA rotations, NBA 2K rotations where it's just all bench starters, all bench starters. No staggering. You're not also you're using a lot of the bench as well. What is it they say about the players? You use about 7 or 8 players max. Now, we'll just use the whole. Make sure everyone gets that little participation medal that you get when you're doing those little football skills schools when you're 6. It literally feels like that. Everyone's got to play a few minutes. Everyone's just got to have a little feel of the ball. Everyone's got to have a few shots, and then they can go off, be happy for that evening. That's not how this works. Our bench is so inconsistent. We got this guy in George Hill who's fundamentally so solid, but of course he comes to Philadelphia and we don't utilize him properly. He hasn't been good, no, but we haven't been utilizing him properly. He's a point guard. We don't give him the ball to actually go and run the offense. We just let him. I don't know what he does. He just goes missing on the court, to be quite frank. We've got Tyrese Maxey. He's a rookie. He's going to be good some days. He's going to be bad some days, and it's really going to have to depend on what's going on. Shake Milton, he's falling off a cliff. Sure, he had that really nice run. Can you rely on him? No. Furkan Korkmaz, he could shoot 50% from 3 all evening and get you 30 points, but he could also get you none. And more often than not, it's the latter. Was he the reason we lost yesterday? No, but this is an overarching sort of issue we've got with this team. When I look at Atlanta's team, you've got Lou Will, just a solid scorer who will always score you points. Danilo Gallinari, great three-point shooter. He could start on most teams in the league. He's on their bench, and he is fantastic at what he does. Good post play as well. Kevin Huerter, great three-point shooter. And this is a team that's somewhat depleted. They haven't got Cam Reddish. They haven't got DeAndre Hunter. And this is who they're bringing off the bench compared to our guys who are just sort of like, if they weren't in the league, apart from Tyrese and George Hill, if they weren't in the league in the next 3-4 years, would you really be that shocked? Would you really be? Shake Milton, yeah, he's really teetering. He's on that seesaw. It's like he could really go one way or the other. He could become one of the most solid bench players you got in the league, or he could fade into nothing and we could all look back on his 39-point game against the Clippers and be like, what the hell happened there? Again, it's looking more like it's the latter. This bench makes no sense. This bench doesn't have leaders. This bench doesn't have dogs. That sort of idea I talked about, these people that are going to come off the bench and be like, yeah, I'm going to do this for you. I'm going to sort this out. But Doc will persist when playing them, and that's when the leads get eaten away. That's when 25 points becomes 20 points, becomes 15 points, becomes 10 points, becomes 5 points, and before you know it, the end of the fourth quarter bell rings out, and we are now 3-2 down. Thank you, Doc. You have learned nothing this last year. Your fourth quarter management is terrible. The way in which you've vehemently backed Ben Simmons is unforgivable. You've given him a lifeline every time when he really should have stepped up to the plate and appreciated that he was in the wrong. You let him get away with it all. And now this is the price we're paying. I feel so sorry for Joel Embiid. He's done everything he can. He's played the best basketball of in the league. I don't care if Jokic won MVP. If Embiid plays the same amount of games, Joel Embiid is the MVP. I don't think there's too many complaints, but that's not a hot take. That's just the way it goes. He's played the best basketball. He's conditioned himself. He's turned himself around to turn into a guy that is a win now. One of the best players in the league. One of the best all-stars in the league. He's ready to go. And the people around him don't want to know. They don't want to know. They don't care. They don't look at themselves in the mirror. How do you go to bed after a performance like that, Tobias, Ben? How do you go to bed after a performance like that and look yourself in the mirror, and you go in that changing room, you look at Joel Embiid, who's dripping with sweat, who's hobbling, who's strapped up everywhere. He's probably taking injections as soon as he gets in from that dressing room with 37 points, I don't know, 12 rebounds or whatever else, and he's given his absolute everything. And you look at yourself, Ben Simmons, 4 shot attempts. You look at yourself, Tobias Harris, 4 points. How do you look other people in the eye? How do you look at other coaches, other players? How do you even look at the stewards and security in the eye? Everyone's thinking it. Everyone's thinking how pathetic that is. How pathetic that was from you two. And now I think we're going to be out of the playoffs, out of that second round once again, when we had a real serious opportunity to turn up trees. And now we're going to look like absolute mugs. Thank you very much, Tobias Harris. Thank you very much, Ben Simmons. Thank you very much, Doc Rivers. We'll see you next season. Or, well, some of you, I really hope we don't see you next season at all. Sam Cassell's waiting in the wings. There are people that... There's always a trade to be made with any player in the league. And Daryl Morey, he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. He knows who's not wrong for this team. We all do. It really is as simple as that. We've embarrassed ourselves. We've become the laughing stock of the NBA, and we deserve nothing less. We deserve to be laughed at. We deserve to be joked at. We deserve to be the butt of the Shannon Sharp terrible, like, first things first jokes, the Nick Wright sort of jokes, just all those clueless sports media, just awful excuses for journalists. All those people deserve to be clowning us right now. And I, for one, am absolutely here for it. I tweeted it earlier today. There are people who will try and get under your skin, as knowing you're a Sixer fan. It's like, haha, didn't you do really poorly against the Hawks last night? It's like, I absolutely agree. Let's pile on this team. I hate this team. I'll still be supporting them. I'll still be, as soon as I possibly can, I will still be paying for flights, paying for hotels, paying for tickets to go out to Philadelphia. Come rain or shine, whoever's playing on this roster, as soon as I can do so, I will be out there. But I hate this team right now. I hate how they've made all of our fan base look. And there's no excuse for what happened last night. We're going to go out of the playoffs in this second round, and even if we don't, we've seen how this team crumbles. This is to the Hawks. What are the Nets going to do to us? What are the Bucks going to do to us? And right now, the worst thing is that it's looking more likely that that Larry O'Brien trophy is going to be more likely than Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It's most likely going to end up in Salt Lake City, Utah, than it is in Philadelphia. That's sickening. No one likes the Jazz. But alas, it's more likely to end up there. It's more likely that Rudy Gobert gets Finals MVP this year than Joel Embiid, because Joel Embiid is surrounded by absolute morons. Where's the justice? That's what I want to know. But I've talked long enough. I hope this has given some people a bit of a laugh. It's done quite nicely for me, a bit of that therapy. I'm not sure the state of play with this YouTube channel. Of course, I love doing these videos. I love talking to you guys after each and every game. But as you know, I haven't been able to do that for each and every game. Job comes in, a relationship comes in. I don't know how the hell I've managed to get that together. But here we are. I guess things are not all bad, but you know, that was disastrous. I'm ready to call it quits. I really, really am with this team, with this season. Of course, like I said, I'll be back for next season. I'll be back ready to go. But I am drained, and I'm let down, and I'm hurt, and I don't want to know this team anymore. Would just love to cut ties and be like, I'll see you in 2 or 3 months. You can go sort your stuff. When you're ready, we can come back. Sixers in 7. See you later, guys.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Sixers.